I'm still being stealthy here, but I have taken some reconnaissance tours. Now, I ate that burrito. I said I was going to go walk away, so I walked 100 yards away and ate that burrito. Of course, I got to carry that with me. And then I have the wrapper. So I decided to see what picnic area looked like, or what my area right here looks like from the picnic area. So I went down there and nobody was there. So I got to throw away that wrapper in one of those bear-proof trash cans. For me, myself, everything I got is put into my sack here, and I will be like everything related to food, cooking, anything, spoons, you name it, anything at all. I even put my medicine in here because I got lotion, and lotion does have a strong scent. So anything that has any kind of scent, I'm trying my best. I've been questioning, I better put that in. That's my insect repellent. And anything that's got a strong scent. And anyway, so I stealthed down there and I was able to throw that away and come back. And this place looks pretty good, but I'd say it looks like such a good stealth camping place that I'm sure other people have done it before in the same situation as me on bikes. But this is kind of weird how they closed all these campgrounds along here. I'm not sure why they've got them all closed. That first one I was in, what was it, something Meadows, but where I had to cross the stream. I should have done video of that, man. That was, wow, that was this morning. This morning I started out and it was 31 degrees and I had to get out of the campground, and that meant I had to cross the stream. And it was about calf deep, and it was freezing cold. I had to take my shoes and socks off and raise up my pants. Couldn't get anything wet, It was because it was freezing out. It was 31 degrees. And man, I had to walk through that water. Whew, that woke me up, But my feet, the sun was getting ready to come up, and it warmed up. I had a little bit of cold time. Riding. I just, my hands would get so cold, I'd stop and I'd just stick them down my pants, man, and just wait, 1 minute, and then, okay, now I can feel my fingers again. They've warmed up enough. Feel my fingers again, and try to keep riding on. But I had long uphill this morning. I rode for, the first 5 kilometers, but then I had a big uphill that took me up to this high plateau. It was really quite spectacular. I followed this river. What was the name of it? I think I mentioned it in a previous video. But I followed this river up, and it was quite a beautiful ride. Big canyon. A lot of pushing, particularly but most of the pushing was done in like one place, man, and then I'd have to go for an hour or so of pushing to get over to where it would level off, maybe more. I went over the Continental Divide once earlier today, and I'm at it right now. Actually, I'm at a Continental Divide. And there's one more down the road. But this is the highest one. The highest place on this inside Yellowstone. So, I got another pass I got to go through, so I'm going to go down and then up to another pass, and then shoom. Then after that is Old Faithful, and I think, what's that valley called? I'll tell you after I see it. But there are where you've got a lot of hot bass. I should just glance at it, because it's going to tell me right here. Well, that's my next map. There's my map. I'm going to go to Old Faithful, yeah, it's the Upper Geyser Basin and the Lower Geyser Basin. I'm gonna go to those. But by stealth camping like I am tonight, instead of pushing my ass off to get it all done, tomorrow I think it'll be a relatively easy day. I mean, I gotta put in probably 55, 60 miles, but there'll be mostly downhill, and so I'm gonna stop off at Old Faithful, go and spend the time, get a video of the Sultan and me maybe when Old Faithful is blowing off, and then I just remember, because I did all this with my family before, and I remember these Lower Geyser Basins and Upper Geyser Basins. Yeah, we were driving, but that'll be all downhill for me basically. So so I just stop in and visit those things, take my time, but I'll be able to put in the miles a lot easier, even though it's going to be 50 plus miles. I don't think it'll be that hard, and I'll have those breaks, and I can get something to eat at Old Faithful, which isn't that far away from, Old Faithful. So I'll be there in the morning, and I can get something to eat there, replenish my drinks, and then I'll just go over there and see the sights. I gotta get out of Yellowstone, or else I'm gonna have to stealth camp again, because all the campgrounds are closed. Yeah. Oh, that first one I went to, Sheffield Meadows. It was an organized campground. I've been in those before. There's an outhouse, and there are different lots that are prepared, with pads and stuff. And no electricity or anything, and there was no water there. But they had the station where you had to pick up envelopes, and you got to put the money in the envelope. But everything was closed up. All that was closed up, and it turns out anybody could stay there who wanted to, because they weren't monitoring it or something. I don't understand. After that, I went to one this afternoon, because I was thinking that I would hit for. See, I got my map right in front of me. Well, that's going to be the. There. Nope. Oh yeah, here it is. Grant Village. I rode into Grant Village. That's where I got those burritos. But I got into Grant Village. It was a mile or so off course. But there was supposed to be a campground there, and I was going to go in the campground to ride around until I saw another biker and say, hey, I'll pay for the site if you let me set my tent there. I won't be any bother. I just need a place to camp. And I've done that before, so that was my plan. But the whole campground's closed. The whole place was closed. And I saw a sign that said which campgrounds were open. They were. There were probably about 20 campgrounds in Yellowstone, and like 3 of them were open. And there are 3 at towards the very end, I believe. Yeah. So I may stop. I have an option maybe of stopping in Madison. That one might be open. That'll be tomorrow night. That'll be Sunday night. But I think I can go all the way out west Yellowstone. It's really beautiful today, I'll tell you. I can look around, and we're high altitude. There are some big lakes in Yellowstone. I never realized. I knew there were lakes, but I always pictured them as small lakes, maybe because you drive by in a car and you only get a glimpse of them. But there are some big lakes, 20 miles across and stuff, here within Yellowstone. And there are several big lakes. Kind of weaving between them all. I went swimming in one today. I don't know if I told you that story, but I was riding along it for so long, and the sun had come out, and I was following the shoreline, and it's just absolutely beautiful, man. Crystal clear water, and the sun was out, so I was warming up, and I said, what the heck? It was still morning though. but it was some hour after sun comes out, it starts warming up, and so I decided to go for a swim. And so I pull into a little place where I can lean my bicycle against a tree in the woods, and then I walk. There's a ledge you got to go down to the shoreline, and it's a very private place, man. So I just take off my clothes and jump in the lake, and just while I'm doing that, I look up the hill, and there's a one of these, I call them DNR, I don't know what they're called, if they're federal, national, there's a name for them. These guys, these kind of police of the park. They pulled through, they drove through, and where I was swimming, and looked at, because they saw my bike, I think, as they pulled over, and they did a kind of a three-way turn and returned back but right in front of me. I think that was before I took my clothes off. Then they left, and then I said, what the hell, man, this is a beautiful place to swim. So I don't really swim, I just go out, because it's hard to get the water over your head, man. It was hard. There are hard rocks, and I walked out a ways, man. It was freezing water, but I make sure I get in and dunk myself completely and scrub myself up as best as I can. Whoa, and yeah, because this kind of traveling and camping, you don't always have the opportunity to take showers. In the Yukon, in that there are always little streams. There's enough privacy. I go down there with my bar soap and could clean up in an icy stream. I tell you, what I wanted to take a video of today, maybe I'll take a video of tomorrow, is the stream of cars, man, in the where the white line, right next to the white line, they have it drops right off, man. So you almost have to ride you gotta ride in the lane, kind of. No shoulder at all. Sometimes 6 inches, sometimes 3 inches. Yeah, oh man, it was a foot and I could try to ride in that thing. I tried to follow the white line, and it was, but they would come by. I would also stop, man. There were times I stopped because they couldn't get by me. It all depended on if people were coming towards me, I could see anybody up ahead, I knew and that was going to correspond with someone coming from behind. I had to get off the road because there's no room, and you can't trust that they're going to stop. And usually, the person coming from behind will stop. I don't want them to do that, so I try my best to just stop myself and get off the road and just set my bike to the side. Screw it, man. I don't want to be part of anybody's accident, man, because maybe only 2 times a day, maybe people came pretty close. Didn't pull over to the other lane, when they had the option. Instead, they, brushed me where I got no room. I got no room for error, man. I'm trying to follow a straight line, and if it's uphill at all, you're not doing it at high speed, and you tend to swing more, but you only have a shoulder that's that big, and then it drops off. I'm really surprised how unfriendly Yellowstone roads are for bicyclers. There are other bicyclers. I met a couple today. But But then as I ride, I look at the side and I think, okay, you want to put a 2-foot shoulder on both sides. That would mean you gotta change the landscape this way and this way. And I don't know, I'm not big into changing the landscape a whole lot. I think that's kind of the thinking out here. I don't know, bike paths would be nice though. But I'm surprised they don't do it and encourage bike tourism. It's a healthy pastime. Well, I gotta drink this Gatorade, and then this is the last thing. This bottle will have to go into the Ursack. I've been very careful. My other bottle has only contained water. This is the only one that I've put something else in, like tea or Gatorade. things are expensive here. Things are expensive. But when you can get a meal, even if it's just a massive breakfast burrito, it gets you going in the morning. Otherwise, I'm not cooking breakfast. I haven't started a fire once in the morning. By starting a fire, I mean I've set up my little stove. You know, I've made coffee because I got decaffeinated coffee. So I made coffee and just sat around, drank it. But generally, my drink of choice is green tea. So I have some green tea bags that I will, in the evening when I'll boil water for making food, I'll boil a little bit extra water. And then I'll pour that into my little cup and tea bag in it. So I have good green tea in the afternoons, like right now when it's starting to cool down. So it means I have to put on every bit of my clothes. Every absolute bit. And then I'll be warm. It'll be down below freezing tonight. And I have to be aware of my surroundings. I might put the tent right where I'm at. Anyways, yeah, I am my surroundings. I got all this deadfall behind me. It's got a lot of spiky things that stick out, so it's almost a barrier. And there's enough of it that anything approaching from that side will be breaking sticks and making noise. Well, this is kind of an open area. Yep. I'm gonna put my food down below all the deadfall down there. How's that sound? Anyways, it's starting to cool down, so I gotta think about setting up my tent. Any suggestions? Let's take a look around. Oh, don't spill that, Mike. Don't spill that Gatorade. Let's take a look around on my position here. We got that's where anybody out walking casually in the picnic area, which they probably wouldn't at this time of the day. It's probably 6 o'clock. Just what it looks like. There's my bike. Now here's where the deadfall starts. I don't know if you can see it. You'll see it when it gets right next to me. Look at it all. That barrier, man, it looks medieval. And then up behind me, I got some trees. It's kind of is a barrier, but anyways, pretty wild, huh? Oh, I'm back, but yeah, I think it's about time for me to finish my drink and put it in the earth sack and go tie the earth sack up and put up my tent. I gotta get to sleep. I'll get up early in the morning like I usually do. Hopefully I'm gonna have a warm night and early in the morning and get going. It's mostly downhill tomorrow. Bye. Good night.